We look at this phenomenal run in Voyager Technologies, the space and defense company that makes key components for satellites, missiles, and spacecraft. It's been racking up government contracts left and right. Last night, Voyager reported a very strong quarter, the revenue up 51%, just versus the previous 3 months. A narrower than expected loss, and the backlog jumping 22% sequentially. That's versus last quarter, not last year. Management said demand is building faster than they can convert it into revenue, high-quality problem. They also raised their full-year revenue forecast pretty substantially. Some of that's thanks to the recent acquisition of Astrobotic. It's a space robotics play, and some of it's a core business. The stock jumped 14% yesterday, even before the quarter, and then rallied another 19.6% today in response to these results, although it's still down roughly 55% from its post-IPO highs last summer, so maybe you haven't missed as much as you might think. Can it keep running? Should it keep running? Let's check in with Dylan Taylor. He's the co-founder and chairman and CEO of Voyager Technologies to find out. Mr. Taylor, welcome to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Great to be with you.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, when someone I've not seen, I look at the company, I think, is it really possible? Is it really possible that you could be at the intersection of everything people care about? Defense technology, national security, the space economy. You've put it all together. Yeah. Tell us about your company, because particularly for younger people, I'm going to say that because you're still losing some money, but I get that. How did you put this whole recipe together? Because it's what people want, and it's where the puck is going.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the question. So we're going to turn 7 years old as a company in about 2 weeks. And the original thesis for the company was exactly this, that at the intersection of national security, defense, and space, a company like Voyager needed to exist. Because at the top of the heap, you had the primes, highly capable, right, but maybe not particularly innovative, maybe a bit slow-moving. And at the bottom, you had highly innovative entrepreneurial companies that weren't necessarily going to scale or couldn't enter and access the public markets. So the thought was, can you build a purpose-built operating platform a la Danaher or Heiko or one of these high-quality companies, right, that's at the intersection of these things that are really important? And we're a mission-driven company, Jim, because this is important not only for the U.S., but for the Western world, because we're in a big race.
I know.
Not just to the moon.
No, I know. I went through the Palantir call multiple times last night, and it's very clear that this is existential for our country. Maybe kind of like when I was a little boy, and I knew we had to get on the moon, or we couldn't let the Russians win, which is true. We couldn't, because it turned out to be more than just symbolic.
Indeed.
It really was a fight that we had to win. Now, let's do some defense first. Sure. Because Golden Dome, a lot of people say, well, we have Golden Dome. Well, we know that Israel's got some Golden Dome. Where are we in this incredibly important project, given the fact that some countries can launch missiles further and further and further? We should be worried.
Yeah. So think of Golden Dome as a moniker.
Okay.
And think of it as a defense shield with layers, almost like layers of an onion. Okay. So obviously, you're not going to have a hypersonic missile interceptor for drone activity, right, and vice versa. But you need architecture that addresses all the threats. So at the very top of the heap is a program we're on, Next Generation Interceptor, which is intercepting hypersonic missiles from adversaries, typically nuclear-tipped, mission critical. If you miss the missile, you lose a city. So that's kind of the highest standard. Even sitting above that, a new part of Golden Dome are space-based interceptors. So this is intercepting threats that generate or emanate from space, and then trying to eliminate those threats. So there are lots of different programs of record, all being worked, all addressing different threats, depending on what the stratosphere might be, or whether it's coming from space, or whether it's something like a drone like we see in Iran.
All right. Now, it sounds like we're definitely ready for that. Now, Astrobotic acquisition, the moon. We're going back to the moon. People don't even know we're going back to the moon. Right. Tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah. So there's going to be several lunar landing attempts with rovers. So, for example, we actually have a mission roughly December called the Griffin mission. That'll be part of Moonbase 2. And on that lander, there'll be a rover, so demonstrating mobility. And ultimately, what we want to do, the royal we, the U.S. and allies, are build infrastructure on the moon, power, propulsion, mobility, to ultimately be able to live and work on the moon. And think of it almost like the 8th continent, Jim. That's the way I like to think about the moon.
The 8th continent?
The 8th continent, because, there's...
I wish I were back in school.
Yeah, well, I tell you, people say, how big can this lunar economy be? Well, I say, well, what was the economy for a new continent when it was opened up. I think it's unlimited, truly.
No, you're right. I mean, for us, it was Tang.
Yeah, right.
You know, we discovered Tang. All right, now how about Starlab? Another, I mean, I can't believe where you are. You should be so excited to come to work every morning.
I am. Indeed.
Starlab,
Yeah,
Airbus, Mitsubishi, great partners.
So the International Space Station, humans have been up there for 25 plus years. Best things probably humans have ever built, Jim, honestly. But it's
really?
I think so.
Okay.
Because not only for international diplomacy, but it's a complicated machine, and I think it's an expression of what humanity, could be possible for humanity.
Right.
However, it's aging, and so the intention is to replace that instead of a government-owned station with commercial space stations. So our effort, as you mentioned, is Starlab, Palantir, Airbus, Mitsubishi, and others are part of that group.
Great partners, huh?
Great partners, and we're the controlling shareholder of that. And that'll be, we won phase 1 with NASA. Okay. This will be an effort for phase 2, which should be selected later this year or early next year.
Okay, so people are going to say, well, listen, he does satellites, whatever. Where is he with SpaceX? Where is he with SpaceX? I mean, and I'd say, look, he does, there's a lot of companies. It doesn't have to be with SpaceX, but you're obviously an observer of them. Yeah. Something to do with them?
Yeah, I mean, they're a partner, really. I mean, they're launching our space station. We were one of the...
So they are. There's only a couple that do it.
Right.
They have to, you need them or one other, two or other. I mean, Blue Origin, obviously. Exactly.
And our space station is so large that we need that heavy lift rocket capability. So I think we're one of their first commercial customers. So they're great partners. We love working with SpaceX, and they've done a lot for the industry. I think Starship is a game changer for the industry.
Yeah, I do too.
We use their comms.
But you don't think it's crazy that they might put data centers up there, right?
I think long-term it makes sense. I think the form factor matters, Jim.
Right.
The physics, it's very hard to build a large school bus-sized data center in space because of the radiation issue with dissipating heat. But if it's a form factor roughly the size of a Starlink satellite and you do a mesh network, which is what I think Elon plans, I think it works.
Well, okay, look, here's what we're going to do. I want you back one. We're not giving you enough time. These are amazing projects. I didn't know your company well enough. Obviously, it bothers me because there's so many interesting pieces here. I have tremendous respect for what you're doing. Okay, 7 years you're building. It's not a small cap overnight success. It's some major opportunity for our viewers, and that's what I care about. This is Dylan Taylor. He's the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Voyager Technologies. And what can I say, guys? It's just, I do wish I were back at school. I'd probably end up working for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Mad Money's back after the break.